Yo, what's going on, guys? We're so back! Here, back at it with another banger video. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to Pitchfork's 100 best albums of the 2020s decade so far. We're almost halfway into the decade, so it makes sense that they're doing it now, I guess. I don't really have anything interesting to say, so let's just react to this. I mean, this came out 2 weeks ago. I probably should have reacted to it then, but I didn't know about it. Will Talks Music had a video about it that popped up on my YouTube recommended, and I was like, oh, I could probably just do that video, but worse. So that's what we're doing today. I'm going to give my opinions on these. Okay, blah blah blah. You'll find dance music, ambient jazz, indie rock, rage rap, and an album that scored a perfect 10. Mandu. No, I can't read. Okay. Um, Number 100, J Daz's Heart Pacing. Not a great start because I have not heard that. Next is DJ Travella's Mr. Mixondo. I have not heard that. Next is Vampire Weekend's. Oh my days. Can you tell that I'm like absolutely knackered just now? Vampire Weekend's Only God Was Above Us. You can find my review for that on my album of the year. I just found it very mid. Like, every single critic and reviewer were like gassing this thing up, and so I was really excited for it going into it, and it was just some decent indie music. Um, Jamie Branch, have not heard. No Name, I've not heard that record actually. Well, that's just not a 2020s decade thing. I've heard their new album, but I've not heard that. I've not listened to Jim Legacy or Legacy or however you say it. I've not listened to Daphne. Tyler Creator, Call Me If You Get Lost. I think that's kind of based. That was one of the better rap records of 2021. You know, just an album. If you want an album that takes you on a journey from start to finish through a million different sounds, and you somehow still haven't listened to that, like, it's a record for you. McGee, um, decent little hypnagogic pop record, I guess. Werco S, I don't know who that is. Dijon, I've not listened to. Nala Sinfero, I've not listened to. Mannequin Pussy, I Got Heaven in number 87. That's kind of crazy. I wasn't expecting to see that. I mean, I don't know if I'd say it's 100 best of the decade so far, but like, still a really solid record. Um, Ken Carson's A Great Chaos. Okay, cool. Hooray for the Riff Raff, The Past is Still Alive, one of the most boring albums I've listened to this year. Soft Pink Truth, I've not listened to. Kia, I've not listened to. KMRU, I've not listened to. Destroyer, I've not listened to, although I've been meaning to. RX Poppy and Good, I have not listened to. Haim, I have not listened to. Okay, this is just disappointing. Lil Uzi Vert, Eternal Take. That's not even the best record they've dropped this decade. I can think of two albums they've dropped this decade that I like more. Um, whatever, whatever. I mean, I'm a Pink Tape defender, I guess. Yule, why is it not the Yule record? I've heard they use they them pronouns, right? Yeah. Their 2023 record was a Soft Scars. I like that album quite a lot, but I've not heard Glitch Princess. High Tech, I've not listened to. The Smile, I've heard the other Smile record that dropped this decade. Well, I've heard one of them, and I've been meaning to listen to the second one they dropped this year. I have not listened to that, not listened to that, not listened to that, not listened to that. I can't stand the 1975, not listened to that. I've been meaning to, but I've not listened to that. Taylor Swift Folklore. Taylor Swift Folklore. I mean, of course, Taylor Swift was going to have albums here. And I guess, well, Folklore makes the most sense. So, I can't complain too much, I guess. Rio de Young OG over Taylor Swift. That is so real. Jeff Parker, I've not listened to. Jenny Val, I've not listened to. Chief Keef 4NM, I listened to that record all the way back when it came out and didn't review it. I can't remember anything about it. I remember it being like a load of bangers, but I need to go and re-review it. I may do that at some point soon. The Microphones, I've not listened to. Tirza, I've not listened to. Mark Homme, have I listened to that? I think that's one of the records I listened to when I was first getting into rap, but I didn't review it, so I will never remember my original opinion on it. Yasmin Williams, I've not listened to that. Blade and Echo 2K, that's based. That's based. Bjork, not listened to that. Nilüfer Yanya, not listened to that. NJ Lenderman, not listened to that. Bill Orcutt, not listened to that. I thought I'd listened to a lot of records this decade. Since I got, ow, my eyes. Since I got into reviewing music, I've listened to, I believe, 5,000 albums. And I started that journey in the 2020s, but I guess I've just not heard any of these. Dua Lipa's Future Nostalgia, I think that's kind of real. Like, honestly, if you exclude Boys Will Be Boys from that track list, that's like maybe the most. No, that was a way of stupid take. But one of the most flawless pop track lists of the decade. I mean, a certain pop record that dropped this year beats it, but like, I mean, one that dropped in 2023 beats it as well. Don't think there's a better pop album in 2022. 2021, was there even a pop album? Gun to the back of your head, name a 2021 pop record. Oh, that's stupid. That's stupid. There was the Billie Eilish record, and there were Lana Del Rey albums, I think. I don't know. Okay, sorry. I'm like too tired to be giving commentary right now. I was meant to do this video earlier. Bad Bunny's Un Verona Sin T. That makes sense that that's there. I mess with it. I know a lot of people in reviewer spaces are kind of like, I know Bad Bunny's not exactly like a popular artist in reviewer spaces just because he is such a big artist. I mean, I don't like Natty, Sabi, Low, Kavar, Pasar, Manana, or whatever. I probably butchered that. I don't like that record, but Un Verona Sinti I think is really good. Dawn FM. Oh, if you've seen my recent videos, y'all will know my opinions on Modern Weekend. Dry Cleaning, not heard. 100 gex, 10,000 gex, let's go. Now, I mess with that record a lot. The only song I don't really like on it is, what's it called? Like, Me. I'm not a massive fan of that song, but every other song on that record is an absolute banger. Dean Blunt, I've not listened to. Sophia Cortez's, I've not listened to. Kim Gordon. Why are they doing 2019 records? Do the new Kim Gordon record. The new Kim Gordon record's fire. Sudan Archives, not heard. Phoebe Bridgers, not heard. MD Mokhtar, not heard. Eves Tumor, I don't know how to say their name. Sorry, not heard that. Arouge Aftab, not heard that. Perfume Genius, not heard that. Anoni and the Johnsons. I really wanted to listen to that record last year, but I didn't get the chance to. Not listen to the Faye Webster. 454. I don't know if they're trying too hard with all the underground rap representation in here, but like, it's cool. I mess with it. Kalila, I listened to that record last year, and I remember having a pleasant time listening to it, but I can't remember anything about it. Fever Ray, I've not listened to. Jockstrap, not listened to. Jane Remover, not listened to. Wednesday, I was meaning to listen to that, but I never did. Jessica Pratt, Here in the Pitch. I don't know if I'd have it up that high, but that's a really good record that came out this year that I think has kind of flown under the radar. You know, I don't really see a lot of talk about that. Lorraine, not heard. Turnstile, not heard. Mm, Kendrick, Mr. Morale, and the Big Steppers. It's a good record. There's a lot wrong with it though. I could do a video on that. Get this video to 1 like, and I'll. Sorry, I'm desperate for video ideas at the moment because like all the records that are dropping are albums that I want to do like written reviews on. So I'm scrambling for videos. I'll do a video at some point in the next few weeks talking about why Mr. Morale like is a conflicting record. Sure. Asaki, I've heard his other two albums this decade. I've not heard that one. I mess with Asaki, he's cool. Let's go! Fucking real. I mean, I'm actually surprised she's not higher, but yeah, Jessie Ware, What's Your Pleasure? Absolutely fantastic record. And I think when it comes to pop revivalism for the 70s and 80s this decade, her name's gone kind of under the radar, and I don't like that because I think she's been the person doing it best. You know, um, I went to see her during her That Feels Good tour, and it was amazing. First concert I'd been to since 2018. Low, I've not listened to. Alex G, I've not listened to. I was not expecting to see that high. Sexy Red, Who'd Hottest Princess. I fuck with Sexy Red. I don't know if it's the 23rd best album of the decade, but it's a good album, and it did drop this decade. Jasmine Sullivan, I've not heard. Nourished by Time, I've not heard. Amari, really great record. Just a lot of replay value. There's so much variety and catchiness on that. What are we doing here? Like, I've not listened to this album, so it's not fair for me to judge it, but how is Cash Cobain in the top 19? I was gonna do a reaction to his new record, but I think I decided to react to Fontaine's DC instead. Was it that weekend that Cash Cobain dropped? I think it was. I may be mistaken. Yeah, I think Cash Cobain and Melt Banana dropped on the same day, but I decided to do a Fontaine's DC reaction instead that got taken down. Um, and I still haven't listened to it. A bunch of artists on this one, I've not listened to it. FKA Twigs record dropped in 2019, just not here. Lana, did you know that there's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard's another conflicting record for me? I think if, like, I can kind of justify my opinion on it by saying, like, all the tracks that aren't just, like, her and a sad piano pretty much are bonus tracks. So, like, end the album. Try to think of the order that the track list ends in. End it before Fishtail. Is that even what that song's called? I like the vibe of that song, but like Peppers and Taco Truck X VB or S. Everything leading up to that is amazing though. Like so many of Lana's best songs. Kintsugi, Fingertips, A&W, the title track, the Grants, like just a load of some of her best material. I mean, Candy Necklaces, like that's like a crazy song. So I can mess with it being there. I don't know if it's my favorite Lana album in the 2020s. That would probably be Blue Bannisters for me. Which I know that's my like Lana hot take is that Blue Bannisters is actually a really great record. Blue Bannisters gets a lot of hate and shade, but I love Blue Bannisters. Okay, I've not listened to this Always record. Billy Woods and Kenny Segal. I listened to that album last year and remember liking it, but I haven't had the chance to go back to it. ML Butch, I don't know who that is. Caroline Polachek outside the top 10. Oh. I think Caroline was my real hope of getting into the top 10 of the record I love. The Green album should be in the top 10. I'd imagine so. But yeah, Caroline. Uh, I'm honestly offended that she's not in the top 10. That is such a brilliant album. Literally everything about it is flawless. The mixing and mastering is some of the most mind blowing I've heard ever. Caroline as a vocalist, absolutely stunning vocally. Instrumentally, the album is so textured and warm and lush and beautiful. Variety, cohesivity, track ordering, chemistry with collaborators, lyricism, songwriting, like it's all there. It's the perfect pop album. I mean, sure, it's not gonna like blow the fucking charts up or whatever, but like, I mean, there are like danceable bops on it, and then there's a song like "Hope Drunk Ever Asking" that like is a lullaby, you know. Beautiful record. Okay, Big Thief, not heard. Waxahachie, not heard. Chikimamani Kondori, I've not heard. Rosalia in the top 8? Yo, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I like Motomami a lot. I remember hating Motomami when I first heard it because I just couldn't get into Rosalia's voice for some reason, which I don't know why that's the case now because I listened to a song like Candy and her vocals are absolutely stunning. So I have no idea what the fuck I was smoking back then. But yeah, that record is so good. Whether you're wanting reggaeton bangers like a song like Soko or Chicken Teriyaki, or you're looking for again a song like Candy, which is more beautiful sounding. There's so much variety on that record. Whether you're looking at more experimental, pushing the boundaries reggaeton, or even like folk leaning music and flamenco leaning music, it's just such a good record. Um, the Green album at number 7. I mean, I don't disagree, but like usually with these publications, they're all over the Green album. I mean, it's my most played album of the year. It's currently in debate for my album of the year. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've been preparing my end of year list videos. Not that I'm like writing them and I'm going to put them out in November or whatever, but I've been thinking about including more albums, kind of doing what Brad Taste in Music does, where it's just like a fucking gauntlet of amazing records. I've been thinking about doing that because, well, this time last year I was exclusively a rap reviewer, and now I can't remember the last rap record I talked about. So, we'll see. I love Brat though. What? What? I'm not even trying to hate on V's. Listen. I don't really like. I'm not a V's fan. I think Lucky kind of does what V's does, but better, in my opinion. And then there's also just more interesting Detroit rappers. 6th? Like, I don't think Babytron's gonna get an album all list. If there was gonna be a Detroit trap album up here, like Ben Reaper 3 Old Testament was right there. But no, we're going for an album I gave a 3. Okay. That was on my worst albums list for last year, though. And I don't think it is now. Like, that's one thing. Like, I've genuinely been considering taking my end of year list videos down because I don't agree with either of them, like, at all anymore. Um, so we'll see. Beyonce's Renaissance. Honestly, um, I don't I don't like to be the guy that's like hating on Beyonce, you know? You know, because like that guy where his whole shtick is he hates any woman in pop music. You know, he like makes jokes like, "Oh, Lady Gaga sounds like a cat being dragged up the road" or whatever, where he clearly just doesn't know anything about music, besides 70s rock. That pisses me off. Beyonce's dropped 2 mid-ash records this decade. Like, I like what Renaissance sparked. You know, it obviously pushed the pin on dance music revival. this decade. You know, that was the record that really sort of transitioned us. Like, I'm not gonna give it all the credit. I think Drake's Honestly Nevermind was another album to credit that. But you know, to really sort of transition us from the disco and synth pop revival of the early 2020s to now this sort of like very dance centric mid 2020s sound. Uh, but there's like two songs I go back to on there, and they were both singles, I think. Um, okay, number four, SZA's SOS. Makes sense. There's a bunch of hits on that record. Honestly, I don't really go back to it all that much. I think there's better R&B coming out. You're gonna ask me for examples of better R&B, so let me give some examples of better R&B. Um, New Tierra Whack record. There you go. If you like R&B, go listen to New Tierra Whack. No, SOS, like, I don't think it's a bad album. I just think it's very bloated. Like, there's a lot of good songs on there, but like, there's also bad ones. Okay, on to the top three. We'll see what's on here. If I had to call, I don't know what Pitchfork like, but if I had to call what the top three is, I think Little Sims Sometimes I Might Be Introvert, because if that's left off this list, like, one, there's no UK rap representation, and two, it's absolute snubbed. Um, I think maybe the new Swans, like Swans the Beggar. I don't know, cause like I don't know if Pitchfork rate Swans, but like most critics really like Swans. Um, and for the third record, maybe the new Magdalena Bay album. No, we've got Cindy Lee's Diamond Jubilee record I've been meaning to check out since it dropped. It's just annoying because it's not on streaming services, but it's literally on YouTube, so I could stop being like an idiot and go listen to it. Is that not like the 2 hour long lo-fi pop album? I really hope I've heard one of these top three records. Yeah, it's talking about 60s psychedelic music and a bunch of other things. Uh, I mean, it makes sense. They weren't gonna put A Great Chaos on here without Whole Lot of Red, because A Great Chaos is kind of just like. I mean, I like A Great Chaos more than A Whole Lot of Red, but Whole Lot of Red is the reason A Great Chaos exists. Um, Whole Lot of Red, I completely agree. Like, usually, like with Anthony Fantano, I'm not like super agree with him. You know, we kind of land in the same ballpark usually, but like he likes Swans, I hate Swans. I like Poppy. Well, Poppy's my favorite artist. He like likes her moderately. Um, but I think he really hit the nail on the head with his Whole Lot of Red review, where he was kind of talking about how the album would be memorized for its influence and what it did to change hip hop more so than the actual quality of the album. Because like, if you go back and listen to Whole Lot of Red and you're not a massive Carti fan, then like I pull like half the track list out of it, and I think that the first half kind of sucks. And that's coming from someone who's more into that like early sort of SoundCloud Carti sound, you know, kind of like that 2015 through 2017 period, where he really sort of blew up for the first time. Like, I fuck with that era. So, like, the Art Dealer beats and the Pure Born beats I like, but, like, I'm not a big Filthy fan. Um, I don't know. I could probably do a video on Whole Lot of Red. I have been thinking a lot about doing some, like, Redux videos. I think that could be interesting. Okay, number one. What do we think it's gonna be? Comment down below what you think number one's gonna be. Fiona Apple, Fetch the Bolt Cutters. Makes sense. Critics love that record. I still haven't listened to it because I've been meaning to do a Fiona Apple like deep dive. I've been doing a bunch of like old cool woman deep dives. Like I did the Kate Bush one earlier this year. I've been meaning to do a Fiona Apple one. I've been meaning to do a Bjork one. I do think, well, this video is getting really long, but like, let's get into the actual good part of the video where I talk about my opinions on the snubs. I guess we'll do like a big snub for each year. That makes sense. 2020, I think my biggest snub for 2020 would probably be West Side Gun, Pray for Paris, like, or Freddie Gibbs Alfredo. Like, the fact that neither of those records made it to this list is kind of weird to me, you know, because they did have other Coke Rap records on here with the Matt Call Me album, but, you know, I don't think Matt Call Me entirely represents what Coke Rap is. Like, they probably, instead of all, like, the mid-ass country records on here, they could have put that on there. More Coke Rap representation. 2021, I've got a couple. I think Little Sim, Sometimes I Might Be Introvert is maybe the best UK rap album I've ever heard. So I think that was snubbed. But also I think Injury Reserve by the time I get to Phoenix. I don't know if that's too left field for this list or not, because they were including a lot of experimental and underground and left field hip hop. But I think that record was pretty snubbed too. My 2022 snubs. I think 2022 was fairly represented, you know. It was just a very big year in pop music. I mean, I imagine there's a lot of people out here saying, like, Heroes and Villains should have been on here. Which, Heroes and Villains, I like what it represents, because it obviously was the record that really sort of pushed Metro Boomin into people's minds. Like, he'd always been kind of known, but, like, now he's, like, one of the biggest names in rap music, you know. Like, Metro Boomin can headline, like, festivals and stuff. Along with Future, obviously, but like it wasn't just listed as Future; it was listed as Future and Metro Boomin. I'm not personally a fan of that record. People who follow me on Album of the Year will know my opinions on Metro Boomin. You know, I miss the days when Metro Boomin's music was crazy and now it's just really super duper polished. I think Metro Boomin hit a similar sort of trajectory to The Weeknd, where I hate to be like one of those like hipster people where it's like I was there first, but where they blew up doing this really sort of dirty sound and then got clean and became like the top people. But yeah, other 2022 records, you probably could have had Nas's King's Disease 3 on here. I mean, I don't think the list super misses it, because obviously the goal of a list like this isn't necessarily to actually pick out the 100 best albums, it's to pick out a group of diverse, well represented recommendations, pretty much. And, you know, just to remind people, like, oh, this record dropped a few years back, go listen to it, it's really good. So that's not exactly what they're trying to do, you know, they're not just trying to recap a bunch of stuff. Okay, then 2023, what do I think was snubbed from last year? Model Actress, that record, Dog's Body. For some reason my mind blanked. That record I think is really good. Sorry, my script's on my ceiling, that's why I've been looking up the whole time. No, I think that record could have been really cool on here. I think also Mike, Burning Desire would have been really interesting to see. This year, I mean, it's hard to really play snubs for this year because, like, you know, I can't really say the new Jordy Greek album when it only came out a few weeks ago. I guess a record I've set, well, Fat Dog Wolf, I gave that record a 10. And I guess the new Knocked Loose kind of redefined what metal can even be in my brain. So I'd say that record. I think these are more records that will get attention towards the end of the decade, though. You know, like, I think in 2030 we'll look back on the new Noctilus record and think, holy shit. We'll be looking back at Nautilus's catalogue thinking this may be the best metal discography we've ever seen. You know? But that'll be me. Please leave a like on the video if you liked this style of more just me talking without music playing. Please do consider subscribing to the channel for more music discussion related things. These last few weeks have been pretty inactive, but if you want me to be more active, check out my second channel. It's just the same as this one, but with a 2 on the end. I upload very, like, weird stuff on there, but, like, it's still stuff. Comment down below your thoughts on this list. I didn't think it was that bad. I think there was a few snubs, but, like, they did what they could do. And there wasn't 100 million Taylor Swift albums, which was pretty surprising. So yeah, that'll be me. Also comment down below your snubs. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will be going now. Goodbye.